heard some folks saying when it rains it pours. But that does not even come close to a good summary referencing the global financial crisis we are currently witnessing that started with SVB. On the exact same day as the second largest bank failure in United States history, Silicon Valley Bank, we have Wells Fargo with an unprecedented nationwide glitch that mixed up and lost direct deposits and transactions, causing customers to have wrong and missing balances. Coupled with today's meltdown of Credit Suisse as it plunges to all-time lows. That's 96.7% below all-time highs. Treasury Department is said to be monitoring the situation after biggest shareholder ruled out boosting its stake and the stock fell the most on record. And Bank of America with $113 billion of unrealized losses on its balance sheets, which represents 60% of tangible book value. The dominoes are beginning to fall one by one. Just a few examples of why we promote not keeping our assets on the exchanges. It goes the same for banks. Especially with the $250,000 FDIC coverage, I believe we've come to that moment of inevitability. We have to learn that we live in a world that isn't as safe as we once thought it was, and to keep all of our eggs in one basket is just plain irresponsible on our behalf. The legacy financial system is far more vulnerable than most actually realize. Which is why we talk about decentralizing the system from the ground up, in addition to learning how to take responsibility for our own finances. This is not just another cleanup on aisle 17, this is potentially an extinction level event that will have far-reaching consequences for years to come, and we have yet to see the true fallout. The regulators have stepped in and taken control of the situation, but not before it was made public and spread like wildfire. #BlackSwan. Apparently the FDIC will cover up to $250,000 of depositors' money, but more than 85% of the customers held much larger balances, which should sound the alarm for everyone paying attention. There's already rumors circulating that there are several more dominoes getting ready to fall, First Republic being another one, which saw their stock price drop by more than 30% amid the turmoil, and for traditional markets that's beyond significant. Concerns are spilling into other parts of the banking sector. Shares of other lenders have been falling as well. JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo and Citigroup all suffered drops of between 4% and 7% Thursday. Silicon Valley Bank is a crucial lender to United States technology startup companies and venture capitalists, which between the economic slowdown and rate hikes stood no chance. But if you've been around this space for a while, then this is not news to us. We've been warned and re-warned dozens of times over the course of the last few years. I am not saying that everything we have been told is true by a long shot, no, but I am saying making sure to take precaution should be our number one priority, aside from getting closer to God Almighty. These markets are based on trust, and once the little bit of trust we had left is gone, it becomes a race to the bottom. But we all know when it comes to utility in the digital asset space, although everything will eventually crash to some degree, everything that has a use case and can be used in real time will come back harder and stronger than ever before. Some might even say that everything we are seeing currently happen on the global stage should be considered a systematic, controlled demolition of the old guard. Although I'd love to believe that's the case, we have to think logically and rationally, and always take the necessary steps to secure ourselves as we take chances in this highly volatile and unregulated space. Nothing in life is promised, but if I was a betting man, which I most certainly am, I would bet big on something like XRP, because of what it's capable of doing for the whole space, not just for digital assets. Revolutionizing the way we move value around instantaneously for a fraction of the current cost. Some are saying the wait for the next Lehman Brothers moment is over, and if you believe that this is all intentional, then inside you are smiling. Because you have spent time preparing, In fact, I'm sure you have prepared everyone you know so much so that they've gotten sick of hearing all about it. Trust that you are not alone. At the end of 2022, Silicon Valley Bank had $209 billion in total assets, $175 billion of deposits, and approximately $151 billion of it is uninsured. Thousands of technology companies are already scrambling to meet payroll. In other words, many very wealthy high net worth individuals as well as companies are in danger of being completely wiped out. Ashley Turner, CEO of Farmbox, said she had at least $10 million deposited with SVB, and has been frantically calling her banker saying this has been the worst 18 hours of her life. Or Circle's USDC pegging from $1 down to 88 cents because of the $3.3 billion in reserves held with Silicon Valley Bank. These are just a couple examples, barely scratching the surface. The lists floating around on Twitter are absolutely insane. A post from Gary Tan on Twitter says this means thousands of startups die before the FDIC gets through its receivership process and releases any kind of funds. This is not to scaremonger nor promote any kind of a narrative, we are simply outlining the facts for you to make the necessary adjustments where you see fit. Thank you Patrick Riley, CEO of Reaper.Financial, for making the quick call to move the USDC back into XRP when this whole thing was just barely breaking. We truly appreciate everything you've done and continue to do for this growing transparent ecosystem. Debt reaping beta has just started, but we are waiting for the dev team to lay out a couple things. Rest assured I will be sharing whatever I'm allowed to share as we roll this thing out. Always remember that we keep moving forward no matter what's happening. But, it would behoove you to take notice of who's doing what in this space, because it's few and far in between that you get a CEO thinking about the community first before their own self-preservation, and Reaper.Financial has repeatedly displayed exactly that. This is never financial advice because I am not a financial advisor, I'm just another sinner saved by grace, blessed to be in my current position. One day at a time we will keep the fight going together. We are limitless. Peace and blessings family, I'll see you on the next one.